Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here for Lesson 1 of our course, Lead with Grounded Confidence. This is a topic I'm really passionate about, and it's a perfect example of the kinds of in-depth courses you'll find over at the beventure.com Academy. Okay, let's get started.
So let's jump right into the big question, shall we? What is the real secret to having that kind of self-assurance you can count on? Not just on the easy days, but especially when things get tough. Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack together.
All right, here's what we've got on tap for this lesson. First, we're going to define what grounded confidence actually means, and it might not be what you think. Then we'll break it down into 5 core components. After that, we get to the really good stuff, why this all matters in the real world. And finally, we'll talk about your next steps on this journey.
Okay, first things first. What even is grounded confidence? We throw the word confidence around all the time, right? But this is different. This isn't just some fleeting feeling. We're talking about building a solid foundation from the inside out.
Think of it like this. Grounded confidence is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's a quiet assurance. It's that steady internal knowledge that you can handle things, even when the world outside is chaotic. It's the part of you that says, I've got this, but also, and I'm willing to learn if I don't. It's all the security with none of the ego.
And this right here is such a critical distinction to make. On one side, you've got grounded confidence. It's humble, it's realistic, it's adaptable. On the other side, you have overconfidence. And that often looks brash, reckless, and totally rigid, which, let's be honest, can lead to some really bad decisions. We're aiming for that authentic strength, not just noisy arrogance.
So where does this kind of inner strength actually come from? Well, it doesn't just show up one day. It's something you build, piece by piece, and it's built on 5 absolutely essential components that all work together. And here they are: self-awareness, emotional regulation, resilience, humility, and adaptability. Seriously, think of these as the 5 pillars holding up your entire confidence structure. Let's dig into each one just a little bit more. First up is self-awareness. This is all about being radically honest with yourself. It's about knowing your superpowers, for sure, but it's also about knowing your kryptonite, your blind spots. Having that clear, realistic picture of yourself, that's the starting point for every single good decision you will ever make.
Next, we have emotional regulation. This is your ability to keep your cool when everything around you is just not cool. Imagine you're in a high-stakes meeting or a crisis hits at work. Being able to manage your emotions is what separates a calm, effective response from a total disaster. It's an absolute game changer.
Then there's resilience. Oh, I love this one. This is your engine for growth. Resilience is what lets you take a punch, learn the lesson from it, and get right back up without letting it crush your spirit. It basically reframes failure from being a final judgment to just being valuable data.
Number 4 is humility. Now, this is the big one that separates true confidence from plain old arrogance. You see, overconfidence slams the door on feedback, but grounded confidence, it throws the door wide open and invites feedback in. It's that quiet understanding that you don't have all the answers and that you can learn something from anyone.
And last but not least, adaptability. In a world that seems to change every 5 minutes, this is your secret weapon. It's that mental flexibility that allows you to change course, to take in new information, and adjust your plan without completely losing your sense of who you are.
Okay, so we've defined it, we've broken it down. Now we get to the big question. Why does any of this matter? What is the actual, tangible, real-world payoff for putting in the work to build this? This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? Especially when you're in any kind of leadership role. The impact is huge. When you operate from that place of quiet, stable strength, people don't just follow your orders. They give you their trust, they give you their loyalty, and that's priceless. Let's get specific. As a leader, this kind of confidence helps you build real, authentic influence. It lets you make clear, level-headed decisions when the pressure is on. And maybe most importantly, it helps create a positive, safe environment where your team feels they can actually bring their best ideas to the table. And hey, this isn't just for your 9 to 5. On a personal level, grounded confidence is rocket fuel for growth. It turns you into a lifelong learner because you're not afraid to admit what you don't know. It also helps you set goals that are ambitious but actually within reach, which is how you build momentum instead of just burning out. It completely changes your relationships too. When you're secure in who you are, you listen more than you talk. You communicate more clearly. You can connect with people on a much deeper level because your own ego isn't always fighting for attention.
And you know, maybe the most important benefit for the world we live in right now is this. Grounded confidence is your anchor in the storm of constant change. It helps you look at uncertainty and see opportunity, not a threat. It keeps you steady and focused when everyone else is spinning out.
Wow, we have covered so much ground here, from the what to the how to the why. So let's wrap up this lesson and talk about where you can go from here with all this powerful new insight. And that's a wrap. Congratulations, you've officially completed Lesson 1. You now have a really solid grasp of what grounded confidence is, what it's built from, and why it is so incredibly important. This is the foundation for everything we're going to build on next. But hey, don't stop here. The best thing you can do is keep this momentum going. Your next step is to dive right into Lesson 2, where we're going to explore the fascinating psychology behind what confidence looks like in a leadership role. That's where things get really interesting.
And listen, to really make sure all of this sticks, please use the resources we made for you. You can find quizzes to test what you've learned, all my notes, and a fantastic infographic to summarize everything right on bventure.com and by clicking the link in the description. Thanks so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you in Lesson 2.